Hello and welcome back to day 2 of APTA CSM in Washington, D.C. My name is Kyle Stapleton, your Director of Communications of the APTA Student Assembly Board of Directors. And here we have the pleasure of being joined by Andrew Contreras. He's the former physical therapist during the Obama administration of the White House. So Drew, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, of course, my pleasure.
Absolutely. So can you describe what your experience was like working in the White House during the Obama administration?
I think on multiple levels, it's the greatest job, the most rewarding job, and the most difficult and stressful job. But there's nothing that can compare to it in the world.
How did you attain this unique job?
So the way that it happened to work out, as a military officer, I was stationed in the Pentagon, and there was a rash of injuries of middle-aged men who decided they wanted to start playing basketball again because the boss played basketball.
Right, exactly.
And because there were so many injuries, they needed a sports medicine guy to kind of come and help out with all these people. So I started doing that, and it became 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, more and more. And then eventually, somebody said, hey, this guy's pretty useful. It's useful to have him here. We should have this guy here all the time. So that's what happened.
Yeah, building off of that, so what was the role actually like in this setting for physical therapy?
So, the really interesting thing is that people underestimate the amount of musculoskeletal injuries and things that happen with executive level people, who are working really hard above the shoulders, but it's a pretty tasking physical job, especially when you start considering, we would travel 20 days out of a month, right? Constantly on and off airplanes, constantly changing time zones, moving pieces of equipment around. It's exhausting physically, and there's a reason that there's a shelf life on this stuff, right? You cannot operate at that pace forever, but people try to, and it breaks them down. So as a physical therapist, my role really evolved into not only, fixing people who thought they could still play basketball but really couldn't, but, evolving more into a role of health and wellness and just getting people optimized so that they could function and do their jobs.
Right, exactly. And with this being such a unique opportunity, are there any other similar opportunities like this out there? And if so, how do you go about finding those opportunities?
So I think the important thing is these things exist, right? But they're not. It's not like you can look at it on a job board.
It's a non-traditional type of
job. Right,
job.
Absolutely. And if that's the type of thing you're seeking out, right, you yourself need to be an expert at what you do. You need to be very confident in your skill set and what's inside your wheelhouse and what I can do to help people. And if you are that, those opportunities will come your way.
Exactly. And what would be one set of advice or one piece of advice you would give for individuals who might be electing to go down a non-traditional career path?
I think that if you're pursuing a non-traditional career path, the thing you have to understand is, number one, it may not be what you thought you wanted, right? It might be that an opportunity comes your way and you're not sure if that's what you want to do. And sometimes it's a leap of faith, right? You have to step away from kind of the standard roles that we sit in.
That comfort zone, exactly.
Right, you getting out of that, and it's not always clear, right? It's not a clear defined role, and it's going to be non-traditional in the hours. It's going to be non-traditional in your availability. You have to figure out, is that really what I want to do? Can I have work-life balance with it? Or is that not what I want? But if it is what you want, I think the biggest thing is just keeping yourself available for the things that could come your way and just being really solid in the things that you can do for people.
Such a unique and awesome opportunity. Drew, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
And we'll be back with more interviews we'll be conducting at APTA CSM. Thank you.